In Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, residents voted on Thursday in local elections that marked the country's first direct poll in nearly 60 years. The municipal election is being seen as a test run for national polls next year. Somalia last held direct elections in 1969 before a military takeover. Since 2004, representatives have been chosen through an indirect clan-based system.
It's the hottest ticket in town. Mogadishu residents flashing their voting cards as they head to the polls for the first direct elections in decades.
In the past, clan elders and delegates would be bribed for votes, but now you're free to vote for who you want.
Somalia's direct voting system was abolished in 1969 by an authoritarian government that ruled for more than 2 decades. After 1991, clan representatives elected lawmakers who then chose the president. That indirect voting system was designed to promote consensus among rival clans in the face of a bloody and ongoing Islamist insurgency. Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab militants who want to overthrow the government have made rapid gains this year, taking dozens of towns and villages. With the security situation deteriorating, Mogadishu is on lockdown for election day. Thousands of security personnel are patrolling the streets. Movement has been restricted and the international airport closed. But that hasn't deterred eager voters who form long queues outside polling stations.
I was born in Mogadishu, never left this city. I've seen so much destruction, but today we can vote for who we want, which is why I'm happy.
I'm among the youth who've been yearning to have their voices heard, and I'm very happy for this chance.
I hope today's opportunity to vote will become even better for our children and future generations.
The direct voting system has been championed by President Hassan Sheikh Mohammed, but does not have unanimous support. Opponents argue it's a bid to centralise power in Mogadishu, while some parties in the capital have boycotted the election.
For more on the local elections in Somalia, let's talk to Samira Gaid, Senior Horn of Africa Analyst with Balqiis Insights, Somalia-based consultancy. Good to have you with us, Samira. These are elections in Mogadishu, but help us understand the implications for the wider Somalia.
Okay, I just was linked into the report, and I would like to say that, as much as it is a positive image to see people lining up to try and, make their representation known, this hasn't been a very inclusive and competitive process. It was alluded to in the report that most of the opposition parties, I would say majority of the opposition parties have stood outside of this process, and it's because it has been just led centrally and not inclusive enough. And second thing is that in terms of, the electoral law and the electoral commission, all of those were single-handedly picked by the incumbent. And the idea was that, the president has been pushing for this election, and so that he could sort of show that a template is possible that could guarantee an extension of his term to allow for nationwide elections. So it's significant in as far as, the public seeing themselves as part of a process, but I would say structurally and really in terms of creating a more democratic state, I think we have moved a step back.
So, with this happening, what are the chances of a national election in this same format in 2026?
I would say in this same format, you could have this in 2 other federal member state capitals, because it was a highly securitized election and it was limited to just a state, the capital. In 2 other state capitals, you could achieve similar outcomes, but I would not say you could call this a nationwide election. As you know, in the north, in Puntland and Somaliland, they've been able to hold elections over the past at least 15 to 20 years, and much more for Somaliland. But in the South Central, this has been quite a difficult task because of the security situation. I would say even in South Central, other than 2 other FMS capitals, this would not be possible.
So I suppose with what you're saying, that then puts Somalia in a difficult point if it is to build a democratic system going forward, because if you're only having one person, one vote elections in some places and then the rest of the country can't really be fully representative, what does that mean for future elections, especially considering the threat of Al-Shabaab?
So Somalia has had a process in which it has selected its representatives for parliament and then selected its representatives in cabinet and in government. This has been the 4.5 system. This 4.5 system has worked. It has allowed for inclusion of many other communities that were not necessarily included in governance, and we always had this winner-takes-all attitude, but it has allowed for some sort of inclusion. One of the criticisms of that process, though, has been that it has not been the most meritocratic individuals who have found themselves in power or in high official spaces. And I would say that has been a failing of the political elite. I would think we would revert back to that until we're able to actually first get political alignment between all political actors and then deal with the security situation.
Samira Gaid, Senior Horn of Africa Analyst with Balqiis Insights. Thank you very much for your thoughts on this.
Thank you.